In the 19th century, men dominated the public sphere and did so by working, voting, and in politics, whereas women had no say in any of this. Many states implicated restrictions from women's voting, owning their own property, and as well as controlling their income. Elizabeth Cady Stanton lived in Seneca Falls, New York, and grew up highly educated. Stanton had a big personality and liked the active social and political lifestyle. She then started her own family with 7 kids and didn't really enjoy the stay-at-home life like many other women did too. She then found what she loved the most among a group of Quaker women who showed equality, activism, and unity. She was then invited to a tea party with the Quaker women where she met another activist, Lucretia Mott. Years back, the both of them went to an anti-slavery convention but were denied admission because of their gender. Like Stanton and Mott, activist Sarah Grimme defended women's rights. In this document, Sarah Grimme calls for women's rights 1838. She states in her argument fighting for women's rights that men have just objectified women for their self-gratification, to minister his sensual pleasures, to be instrumental in promoting his comfort, but never to be what every woman should be, treated equally. She explains throughout her letter that men have given women a false image, and that's why women were never seen as more. This primary source shows how men viewed women. They only saw them as an object and never believed they were worth more. Women were seen as nothing more than a stay-at-home wife who cooks and cleans. At the tea party these women had, they discussed how unfair this was. The women came to an agreement to hold a gathering that went over the social and civil rights of women, called the Seneca Falls Convention. The Declaration of Sentiments was a written document by Elizabeth Cady Stanton that was signed by 68 women and 32 men, where it stated that all men and women are created equal. The sentiments emphasized how the political and civil rights of women were denied, such as their education, child custody, and the right to vote. On the second day of the Seneca Falls Convention, that's where they got all their signatures and demanded a change. Women back then truly took a chance here. People would mock them, and the newspapers would state that the convention was dull and uninteresting. The negativity was very humiliating to many women who signed those sentiments. However, the negativity didn't completely shut them down. The convention's mission was undeniable. These women kept fighting for their rights, and a month later, they gained 107 extra signatures on the sentiments at another bigger convention. With the help of the signatures from the sentiments and the Seneca Convention, more people stood by these women's side. Marches, advocating, and protests finally resulted in the 1920s passage of the 19th Amendment that guaranteed women the right to vote. The Declaration of Sentiments is truly one of the biggest movements to women's rights in the evolution of powerful women today.